Nancy Pelosi still warning President Trump about an eternal impeachment. Our next guest was a member of the president's defense team, and he says that isn't the case.
GOP Congressman and ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee, Doug Collins, joins us now. Welcome, Congressman. Thank you. What are your thoughts on the endless impeachment coming out of Pelosi?
Well, I think at this point, I think Ms. Pelosi needs to take a vacation. She needs to go clear her head. She needs to get over the disaster that she put the country through last year. The president was acquitted forever. The president was put on trial in the Senate. Maybe she slept through it, I'm not sure. There was a trial, and the senator said he did nothing wrong. They acquitted him and put this thing forward. We need to put this nightmare to bed. She needs to quit going on TV and saying he's impeached and tarnished forever, because it's not true. The only thing is true is she's making everything political about this president in the 2020 election. This president's going to get reelected, and a lot of it has to do with this incessant drumbeat from the Speaker over things that went on in the House that were unfair to the president, unfair to the country, and unfair to the American people. And we need to continue to focus on what matters to the American people instead of her personal political agenda.
Congressman, what's your reaction to, we had Elizabeth Warren last week even mentioning the I word with this whole Attorney General Barr and President Trump. Now, if Speaker Pelosi were to consider impeachment of the president, attorney general, and anyone else, what would you say?
I would say it's this is just another desperate attempt to get at a president who's doing exactly what he says. Instead of the I word of impeachment, why don't we turn to the I word of infrastructure like the president asked? Why don't we turn to the P word like prescription drug prices? Why don't we turn to another P word like the people of the United States, or continuing to work on criminal justice reform, continuing to make lives better in this country instead of going after one political agenda? At this point, the House should have never been turned into the DNC's political arm, and that's really all they're doing right now. The president has an agenda. The 2020 candidates on the Democratic side have talking points. We need to make sure that with this impeachment exercise in the House, I would like to see them actually run on an agenda instead of actually just running against the president all the time.
Congressman, do you have any hope for the future? So let's say hypothetically, if Donald Trump wins re-election, what can we look forward to as citizens during the next administration? Will there ever be any collaboration or responsiveness on the part of the Democrats, do you see?
I would hope so. We're seeing this from behind the scenes. I've talked to many Democrats that I've worked with in the past, and we've worked on criminal justice reform together. We've worked on copyright reform together. We worked on privacy issues together. There are plenty of things that we can work on together, making drug pricing more affordable, making our infrastructure system sound. These are issues that we can get a hold of, but the leadership of the Democratic Party, Speaker Pelosi and especially the 2020 candidates, Schumer, they only have an agenda of trying to beat this president. I believe that we're going to take the House back in the fall. I think the Senate's going to hold, and I think the president's going to get reelected. And then we can go back to the first 2 years of this administration, where we saw tax cuts put into place. We saw deregulation take place. We saw our economy begin to get stronger, where it is now the strongest that we have. That's what we got to do.
And you mentioned tax cuts. We'll see if the administration puts that tax cut out in September. Might help you take the House back. We'll see. Congressman Doug Collins, thanks for joining us.
It's always good to be with you. Take care.